99.5 WKDQ. What's going on? I'm Travis Sams. Got in studio with me a very special guest, WWE Smackdown Superstar Mustafa Ali. What's going on, man?
Special guest. I like that.
Hey, man, you're a big-time WWE Superstar. Of course you're a special guest. And, of course, the reason why you're here, Smackdown is going to be at the Ford Center tonight. Show starts at 6:45. Tickets are still available, and this is the first time that Smackdown has been aired live on Fox from Evansville. That's huge. So I guess we got to ask, what does Smackdown have in store for us tonight?
I mean, we haven't been here since 2018, too, on top of it. And I've been telling people all morning long, we've been doing some stops and doing some media, and I've been telling people what's awesome about that is that when WWE comes to a town that doesn't normally get to do a stop in and we don't frequent it as much, those are the best crowds because they're not quote unquote spoiled, you know?
Right.
Like we do Staples Center every few months. We do MSG every, like they're a little spoiled, you know? They get used to us coming around. Now we haven't been in Evansville for over a year. This is the first time the Smackdown crew is coming. It was going to be on Fox. You're going to feel that energy. You're going to feel that excitement. It's going to be awesome.
I've been to many Smackdowns, many of WWE events, and I always tell everybody, if you've never been to one, there is no crowd like a WWE crowd.
Absolutely. It's the greatest show on earth. You got everything. You'll be crying, you'll be cheering, you'll be angry, you'll be sad, you'll be happy. It's all this live Broadway. It's everything. Come out for a kick-ass show.
Well, okay, so that's happening tonight, but I want to know a little bit about you, okay? I want to ask you a couple questions, probably that you've heard a million times, maybe some you haven't. So I want to know how it started for you. What was that moment that you realized, I want to do this for the rest of my life?
I was a kid that was obsessed with wrestling. I could tell you my earliest recollection of wrestling, I must have been 3 years old, walking into the living room, and my dad was watching it, and some Bret the Hitman Hart match was on Saturday morning, Superstars, and he picks me up, puts me in his lap, and I look, and I said, who is this guy in pink and black, and he's awesome, and it all started from there. Again, just obsessed with wrestling. Everything was about get out of school, get us home as soon as I can, so I can make a mock-up wrestling costume, so I can wrestle my brothers in the living room and break everything, to eventually getting a trampoline and starting your own backyard fed and all this stuff. It's been a lifelong passion. It was the only thing I cared about. I don't watch sports. I'm not a movie guy. I'm not a comic book guy. I don't even have like a favorite band. I got nothing. Wrestling was the only thing in my life that I loved and cared about. And I started when I was 16 years old, man. So I've been at it for 17 years, and here I am. You
also had another job before you got into the WWE.
You know,
I've heard you mention this. Yeah, you were a police officer with the Chicago Police Department, right?
Yeah, well, right outside Chicago. The police department was called Homewood, but yeah, pretty much the Chicagoland area. But yeah, I was a police officer for 4 years, and I was doing that while I was still wrestling on the independent wrestling scene. So, you know, my typical Friday night would be me wrestling around 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m., not having time to take a shower. I would just towel off, throw on some sweat clothes, jump in my car, race to the police department, change over there, slide into my chair by 10:45 p.m. for roll call for a shift that starts at 11 p.m. Then it's a 12-hour shift. You know, you work the midnight shift, you get home, go to the gym, train, and then try to get some sleep. And then Saturday,
I was gonna ask where does sleep fit in that. It doesn't.
You get it in when you can, man. Yeah.
Well, it's cool that you're here because just a few months ago, I was talking with our chief of police here, and I heard one of your interviews on a podcast, and you were talking about the way you kind of went about policing.
Yeah.
And I sent it to him. I was like, you got to listen to this. This is really cool. And he's like, I haven't watched wrestling in a long time, but I love this guy just because of the way he was talking about policing. So made an impact on the chief of police here.
It's a very sensitive topic, and it needs to be addressed that way when you talk about policing, because some fans actually, you know, he used to be a cop, and you know, obviously they mean it in a negative sense.
Right.
There's good and bad people on both sides, but here's the thing with policing. Here's the thing with the sensitivity about it. Police officers, police administrations, from the top, they need to approach it, and they need to earn the trust of the public. Right. You know what I mean? The distrust is there.
Yeah.
The police department are the professionals, so they have to be they have to do what they have to do to deal with that situation. Being aggressive and saying we don't have to explain ourselves. No, you do. You serve the public. So in that podcast, I talked about going above and beyond, quote unquote, to talk to a citizen about an issue he had, while my sergeant was telling me you don't have to do that. You don't have to go and explain yourself to him. And I go, no, I do. That's how we win trust. That's how we That's how we solve this problem.
Yeah. And like I said, you made a fan out of him that day. So he was like, oh man, he's coming in. I'm going to have to go check it out. I want to talk a little bit about your career here, especially here in the past year or so. You've had some ups and downs.
Right.
19 didn't work out kind of like you planned, but I want to try to get maybe some breaking news here.
Yeah.
What are your plans for later on this January in the Royal Rumble?
Well, I did see a photo of you earlier today, and you were wearing a neon orange suit, and I said, man, so here's some breaking news. If I'm in the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
For you, I'm going to wear a neon orange gear.
I am holding you to that.
Royal Rumble 2020, Mustafa Ali, orange gear. You're here to hear.
I am holding
Breaking
you to
news
that.
in honor of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. 2019 was a roller coaster. It started off at the highest highs and it ended in the very lowest of lows. I was, slated or positioned to do big things. I was in the main event picture, and then an unfortunate injury that almost, could have been career ending. It took me out for almost a month, and I don't feel like I've regained that position that I was slated for. The good thing out of all that tragedy was that Kofi Mania was born, and we got to see this incredible, well-deserved moment that was beautiful, that it's more than, anything I could have ever aspired to do at that moment. But, for me as a performer, man, it's hard to see and think of what could have been. So 2019 was a lot of stop and go, primarily a lot of stopping, 2020 is my chance to turn that around. Unfortunately, 2019 is defined by that injury, but 2020 will be defined by my success.
And I believe you've got it in you. I think you can do it.
Thank you.
Especially if you're wearing the orange. You're going to be
set,
good.
I'm going to throw out Brock. He's number one. I'm going to throw him out.
That's what I was going to bring up. Brock said he was going to come in number one. Yeah. He kind of cost you your shot at Money in the Bank. So are you going for him if you're in the Rumble?
He did. Here's the thing. I am not one to completely ignore reality. Brock Lesnar is a machine, and me running at him face to face, I will surely meet my demise, but that's the whole point. That's who I am. I don't run from danger.
So you're not the type that's going to play dirty and not get caught.
Play dirty. Right. If I get one good shot in on Brock, that's revenge enough.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the man took something to me. The audacity of him to show up after the match is pretty much concluded. I've got 6 other guys laying around. I deserve that money.
Yeah.
I was climbing up the ladder, and for him to come out and shove me and simply take it. I think that was the most wrestling Brock did all year, climbing that ladder.
It might have been,
to be honest with you. But yeah, he's in the Royal Rumble, and I can tell you, I'm not the only one that's got my eyes set on him. So Brock, him coming in number one, I don't know how smart that is. Definitely got people talking though.
You come in at number 30, and if he's still there, you got the advantage, right?
I'm going right for his ankle.
Well, all right. What can we expect from you and Smackdown tonight at the Ford Center?
Like I was saying earlier today, man, there's this level of excitement when we don't hit a town that we normally hit. We can feel that energy, and I'm telling you, by the time that first match goes out there, we're going to hear it, we're going to feel it. It's just this, it's very hard to describe it because it's kind of magical, honestly. I was just telling other people earlier today, like when we go and do these international tours, we're not in Peru all the time. We're not here. And when we're there, it's like we're rock stars, man. Like they're flocking the arena. It's sold out. It's rocking because they know we're not here all the time. So it has that same feel. It's awesome when we come to a town like Evansville that we haven't been to in a long time because they're going to be like, man, we can't wait for this show. They don't get it often. You see these superstars on TV. It's nothing like it when you get to see it live. It's so much better. You're going to get to see Roman Reigns punch Baron Corbin in the face.
That's pretty much guaranteed tonight.
Awesome,
Hey, we appreciate you stopping by. Before you go, I want to ask you a couple of rapid fire questions.
Boom, boom.
First thing that comes to your mind, just go for it, all right?
Try my best.
Favorite movie to quote?
Ali.
What is one song on your playlist that people would be surprised you have?
The soundtrack to This Is Us.
Favorite junk food?
It's kind of a weird. We just discussed this in the car, actually. It's a combination. I'll keep it short. It's cereal, Oreo cookies, and Nutella all mixed into one. Yeah, I said what I said. I know.
I'm just going to let it go.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let it go. Favorite WrestleMania moment of all time?
Bret Hart winning the championship and getting raised by everybody, and Owen Hart in the aisleway just being mad.
The best piece of advice that you have ever received?
I was really worried about an opportunity, about something that was going down in my life, and Lillian Garcia actually said something to me that I hold very dear to my heart. She said, don't make things bigger than they are. Oh my God, I have this WrestleMania moment. It's just a match. At the end of the day, you've spent millions of hours in the ring. It's just a match. And that perspective, I can do this. I can wrestle Randy Orton. I can wrestle AJ on national TV and not freeze. You just don't make it bigger than it is. AJ Styles is just another performer. Randy Orton's just another performer. They're peers. I'm here. I'm in WWE. I'm on their level. And that's the biggest piece of advice. We psych ourselves out. Don't make it bigger than it is.
I like that.
Effective,
don't make it bigger than what it is. Okay, final question. You mentioned a bunch of different superstars. I need to know, if you could have invented any maneuver in wrestling, which maneuver would it have been?
I thoroughly believe if he had not done it, it was not his move, but man, the Swanton bomb. Jeff Hardy's Swanton. That was my move, bro. This is a little bit of a breaking news thing here, but as a kid, man, I was a bit of a backyarder myself. I used the Swanton bomb off of everything. Roofs, ladders, cars.
We'd do it on the trampoline all the time.
Trampoline, man, the Swanton Bomb was my jam, bro. So yeah, obviously it's awesome that the Hardy Boys are back in some capacity here in WWE. Jeff's obviously out with the injury right now, but when he was here, I was like, man, he's doing the Swanton Bomb.
Did you fanboy a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. I tagged with him at a live, and again, we're talking about WWE Live is just something special. I got to tag with Jeff Hardy on a live event, and I just remember how cool it was that I'm looking over the corner, and my tag team partner for the night was Jeff Hardy. I was like, man, like 16-year-old me would be freaking out right now, but here I am with.
It's crazy how life turns out.
It's crazy, man.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, we appreciate you stopping by today. We look forward to SmackDown, seeing you guys out there doing your thing tonight. Again, it's happening at the Ford Center, 6:45. Tickets still available, and it's going to be airing live on Fox. First time ever from Evansville.
First time ever Evansville. Come out tonight, Ford Center. Live.